Hello and thanks for joining us on Encore. Coming up on today's show. Stepping inside a masterpiece, we check out a new exhibition that lets visitors see Van Gogh's canvases from a new angle. We meet the rising star of the French ballet scene. Lead soloist Hugo Marchand has danced his way to the top spot here in Paris. And performance and poetry meet on stage in Avignon as Europe's largest theatre festival kicks off for 3 very dramatic weeks. The curtain has officially gone up in Avignon as the French city hosts the 71st annual theatre festival. And as always, there's an eclectic selection on offer, from classical drama to contemporary dance, and plenty of spontaneous happenings in the streets. Highlights this year include Shakespeare's Hamlet, performed by inmates of a local prison, a Japanese retelling of the Greek tragedy Antigone, and a performance from Dorothy Munyaneza that revisits the Rwandan genocide, using movement, music and art. Artistic director Olivier Pi tells us what sets the Avignon Festival apart.
It's definitely a theatre mecca. Everyone dreams of acting here. It's an experience like no other because you have a captive audience.
And the Avignon Theatre Festival runs until the 26th of July. Next, if you've ever loved a painting so much that you want to climb right inside it, this could be your chance. Imagine Van Gogh showcases some of the artist's most famous pieces in a new way. The scenes have been projected onto canvases which stretch from the floor to the ceiling. It's a chance for visitors to drift through these giant installations at Paris's Grande Halle de la Villette. Catherine Clifford takes us on this immersive journey.
From the corner of his eye, Vincent van Gogh watches down on those exploring his works. They've been brought together here at Paris's Grande Halle de la Villette to be looked at from a new perspective. Projected onto suspended sheets measuring 12 meters high, 200 works are on show. They paint a picture of Van Gogh's last 3 years in Arles, Saint-Rémy-de-Provence and Auvers-sur-Oise. With a t-shirt to prove it, this fan has travelled from the US to visit all the places where the painter lived.
Full immersion in the experience of the brush strokes, of the colors, and the music is perfect.
Annabelle Mauger designed this exhibition as a walking journey, open to all ages, amateur or experts.
When you're in a museum, you can't touch the canvases. Here, the fact that these canvases are projected onto sheets allows you to touch them and even to give them movement, like this. That's what's interesting.
Some choose to sit on the floor to appreciate certain works and the experience that comes with them. There are no commentaries or subtitles, only music by the likes of Bach, Mozart or Satie. Each projection lasts 27 minutes, and visitors are free to drift between them at their own pace.
It's emotional. I feel the emotion in my body. It makes you feel small.
It's incredible when you first come in. It gives you goosebumps.
Sometimes when the paintings move, you almost feel like you're inside them.
Multiple screens mean certain elements can be isolated. Here, the furniture from Van Gogh's bedroom in Arles is given closer inspection, revealing lesser-known details.
On the yellow house, we can see little characters which are tiny in proportion to the canvas, and this gives us the opportunity to explore these minuscule details.
The high-resolution images reveal the brushwork in great detail, the tiniest of touches from an artist who would never see his own success showcased and admired. The journey ends in the wheat fields of Auvers-sur-Oise with Van Gogh's very last painting.
To Nantes now, in western France, a city that boasts an exotic ambassador these days. The wooden elephant of Nantes was originally conceived 10 years ago as part of a regeneration project for the disused shipyards. Its reputation has now spread far and wide. Emerald Maxwell has the story.
he's met with the same enthusiasm every time. For 10 years now, he's wandered the island of Nantes, all 48 tons of him. The elephant has brought new life to the old shipyards, which fell into disuse in 1987.
When we suggested the idea, a lot of people said, why an elephant in Nantes? A park with a large wooden elephant, what's all this about? In the end, the result was magic, and the people of Nantes have really embraced it. It also fulfills the initial goal that was to make the city more attractive and draw attention to it.
Today, the elephant has become the city's emblem. More than 4 million tickets have been sold over the past decade for a ride on its back, a jaunt on the carousel, or a foray into the gallery of machines. Visitors come from all over France, but also from further afield.
We heard about it in Antwerp, and that's why we're here.
In general, when you say you're going to Nantes, people say, "Oh, are you going to see the elephant?" It's pretty well known now.
It seems so extraordinary. When we knew we were coming to Nantes, we said to ourselves, we have to go and see the elephant first. It's so famous.
Since 2007, the bestiary has grown. Spiders, ants, and by 2021, a tree of herons, which will stand 35 meters tall in the heart of the city. The artistic director's imagination knows no bounds.
I think there are two things. Firstly, their workmanship. The carving is extremely detailed. Thousands of hours of work go into it. The objects speak to us, the machinery is visible, and the objects are so mobile.
So mobile that they've travelled to the four corners of the earth, from Liverpool to Calais, Beijing, and even Yokohama. The famous elephant, meanwhile, has never left his home port, but he's still kept busy, managing over 10 years to rack up some 20,000 kilometres.
We're staying in Nantes and getting to know another of its famous faces. Hugo Marchand, the young talent of the Paris Opera Ballet School, has now been named lead soloist in the company after a star turn as Romeo in Romeo and Juliet. Marchand developed his style under former director Benjamin Millepied. We take a look at a dazzling debut.
When he's in Paris, Hugo Marchand takes the subway to go to work. But his employer is not just any employer. It's the Paris Opera. This 23-year-old 6'2" athlete has just reached the highest rank for a dancer in France. He's been named lead dancer following a performance of La Sylphide last March in Tokyo.
I'm thrilled to announce that Hugo Marchand is now a lead dancer at the Paris Opera Ballet.
His nomination came as a surprise. That day, Hugo Marchand was simply replacing an injured dancer.
It's a moment that you look forward to your whole life. I've been dreaming about it since I was a kid, for the last 10 years. I felt a little bit sad, though, because my parents weren't there to see it. They were still in Nantes, and the people I loved the most weren't there.
His day starts with a ballet class at the Paris Opera. While warming up, he checks his emails before taking out his equipment.
So this is a roller we use to relax the arc of the foot. And this is a torture tool. I roll it on my legs to get rid of all the toxins and keep the blood flowing.
Like any other athlete, he has to practice every day to avoid injuries, maintain his flexibility, and improve his endurance. As a kid, Hugo was a gymnast. He discovered ballet when he was 9 years old and hasn't stopped practicing the same moves since.
I love surpassing myself and trying to reach that point when it gets difficult. It's very physically demanding. There was even a point in the Sylphide tonight when I wondered if I'd be able to make it to the end.
Amandine Albisson, who's danced with him in La Sylphide, describes him as a mindful partner.
It's the way he carries the girl and then delicately puts her down again.
Hugo Marchand is only at the very beginning of his career. If all goes well, he'll be able to dance until he's 42 years old, the official retirement age of Paris opera ballet dancers.
We'll leave you with a little more classical dance, direct from Havana this time. The Cuban National Ballet is renowned for the grace and verve of its energetic young dancers, as well as the creative vision of its formidable founder, Alicia Alonso. The troupe's performing here at the Salle Pleyel in Paris, staging Giselle and Don Quixote. We'll leave you with a preview. Remember, you can get more arts and culture on our website, and do keep up with Encore on our social media channels. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
Hello there, this is Live from Paris on France 24.
Get connected with France 24 social media. Take the first step. Tweet, like, become a fan of, break away from your TV. Find another dimension. Become even more linked up to the news with France24.com, together with our mobile and tablet apps. France 24. Get a connected view of the world.